Welcome everyone to the April board meeting of the Muncie Land Bank. We'll start off as usual with our consent agenda. If you haven't had a chance to already review the consent agenda, please do so now. And I would entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as submitted.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I got a motion and a second for the acceptance of the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Sounds like motion passes, consent agenda is passed, which consists of our financial statement and last minute's meetings. Our only voting item is a disposition for 2028 East Indiana to Christopher Davis. The Acquisition Disposition Committee had reviewed and recommended this transaction. He bid on it for $300 if I got this right.
Yes.
Nate, would you like to add anything to it?
It's pretty straightforward. It was a side lot. It's an expansion.
Make a motion to approve the disposition of the property.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. Are there any other questions or concerns? All in favor, signal by saying aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Now we just have our items for general concern discussion. We'll start off
Brad,
with.
I'm sorry, I have to step back just for a moment. Who made the motion and who seconded it?
I made the motion.
And Melanie or Annette, you seconded?
Melanie.
Melanie, gotcha. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for making sure you got that. We start off with our committee reports. Acquisition Disposition Committee is going to be first. We have some great news coming out of Nate here.
Yeah, just we were awarded 40 properties by the commissioners, Delaware County Commissioners. Yep, that's big for everybody, for the land bank and all our partners. And there's still two more that I need to follow up with. Two more that the county commissioners they actually own, and I'm not exactly sure what the status is there. But of those 40, 24, all 24 of the old West End properties were approved, and then 16 of the 18 for our partnerships in Whiteley Industry, and then some other kind of stragglers out there that are connected with different partners' works. So yes, that was great. And I guess I'll just add that we have put in for 3 properties from the MRC a while ago, and have been waiting to follow up on that, even though we put an application, did the whole thing that they require through the MRC website. But hopefully there's 3 more properties that will complement all these properties in the Old West End, plus the ones we've been purchasing with Ball Brothers Foundation, which is the next point there. We've spent $65,000 of the $75K. The last property we bought was one that we talked in the last board meeting, 900 West Howard. We went ahead and bought that. So there's a little bit of money there to either grab a few more properties, or hold that for legal costs and things that we're going to start getting into now. And then I also just jump down and say that we have a partnership with Community Foundation and Pastone to be a supplier of structures for their HARP program. And it looks like the house that we acquired last year, 2123 South Jefferson, might work for the HARP program, which is great, because that's something that we're also, it's a priority trying to find those houses that can feed into the HARP program. So this is the first one that we have a little bit of money left over that we're going to get somebody out there to look at and tell us what are the priorities for the rest of that money. Yeah, 15 to 20 to do some major improvements, and then that would be sold to a HARP buyer. Any questions about that?
I want to just say congratulations to Nate for making this happen. We couldn't imagine this kind of success 18 months ago. Good work. You really have been working the relationships, and thank you.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I wanted to suggest that we could use clear information about the list of properties and maybe a map. The exhibit A is difficult to like make sense of.
The map, there is a map actually, but I'll send you an updated list. We just put that together and presented it yesterday to some funders. There is a map that you can see, John. Actually,
Okay,
the list is there
not
too,
the site.
actually, for just the Old West End. Okay, but I'll update that. Sorry.
But yeah, great work.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you all for everybody's support in all kinds of ways to finally get across the finish line there with that ask.
Great, sorry, I was on the wrong page. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everyone. Let's go on. Is there any other questions or concerns with the acquisition update? If not, we'll go on to programs committee. We'll have an update from our first Friday, our participation in the housing summit, and our upcoming first Friday. Heather, do you want to take the housing summit?
Sure, just super fast. If you get a chance to look at the article, I think it's also going to be posted in the Muncie Journal. Great attendance. We had over 100 people. Our goal was 100. A lot of good conversation, and everybody seemed pretty positive about the experience. So thank you to everyone who was able to attend, and thank you especially to Nate for helping to coordinate the event.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good job. Nate, who's coming to our next First Friday?
Yeah, so Dr. Baridi from BSU CAP, he's going to be coming to present on community land trusts. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
All right, and then we have decided to create a development alliance for our development project in the Old West End. Oh, John?
For the programs committee, I met someone from Evansville, who I think would be an awesome speaker for First Friday. She talked about a housing consortium they put together down there. She works for the city. I don't remember her name, but I think I forwarded you her information. If I'd be happy to do the outreach. I think she's out of town until the end of the middle of next month or something. But
yeah,
I think she'd be great.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate that. And yeah, the invitation is always open for if folks come across people and say, "Hey, Nate, here's contact." We have somebody scheduled for next month, but we're going to be needing some new speakers to fill out the rest of the year. So yeah, any ideas are welcome.
Thanks, John. So with the Old West End development project, we have set up like an alliance meeting of all these kind of agencies that will be working in this project for the 23rd, right, Nate?
Yeah, it'll be our first meeting, trying to get everybody in the same room, and it's a little bit of a puzzle to see how everybody fits together. We have all this property, we have different funding sources, and we have folks with different kind of skill sets, and so kind of fitting them all together is what we're going to start doing in that development alliance. And really, if anybody's interested in joining, a couple of you are already on the email list, but if anybody else would like to be a part of that conversation, welcome to.
What time and location?
It's 10 a.m. on Zoom on the 23rd.
And in the today's meeting folder, there is a site map and a property list for the development project listed in there. Unless there's any other questions about any of that, or concerns or comments, we're just gonna go right to fundraising and development.
Can I ask
yeah, please.
a quick question? So Nate, I know I'm on that list for the meeting.
Yes.
I don't know that that particular group is the best group to do this, but when and how, or has it already been done to involve talking with the neighborhood association about what we want to do, kind of getting their input on that project?
Mhm.
What's the plan there?
Well, I mean, we have done a fair bit of engagement with them in the last leading up, and then
Now that now that you know that it's going to move forward,
yeah.
is there?
Brad, do you want to
Yeah.
answer that? If you're following along.
We've gone through a couple charrettes with both, because well, this is kind of the point of the Alliance meeting, is because there's a lot of moving parts, and one of them is the solar decathlon. And so one of the charrettes we all went to was the solar decathlon model, and then there's a discussion of the needs and a housing needs type of assistance for the project. So it bears us to kind of organize the efforts so that, say, one agency isn't duplicating some type of work that all the agencies could benefit from, been done once. And that'll be a bit more of our, but as far as our engagement with the neighborhood, I mean, myself has been updating the neighborhood, and Denise, and Rebecca, who are part of owner as well, the redevelopment corporation over there in the Old West End. And so we've kind of been staying in contact. It's more about, I think more people are just concerned about the type of housing units and the type of pricing points, to tell you the honest truth. When it comes to our feedback, that's what I mean. When it comes to the feedback we hear.
Okay.
And I
Thank you.
just add real quick that we used a focus group made up of local residents with the students, and so we definitely have a relationship there. And then kind of Brad, Denise, Rebecca, and Bill Britton has been somebody that's kind of been a bridge to the community as well. That was invited to the Alliance conversation. I don't know if he will be able to make it, but we'll be really kind of taking the advice of Brad and others that are from the Old West and to tell us, okay, this is how we need to now fully communicate this to the neighborhood, or how to involve them. But yeah, very important.
We'll intend to be there, because they're going to be doing the actual house building.
Yes, they will be there. Jeb,
Okay.
And Ben, and then and Joe, I think, will be on the call.
Representatives from all the agencies that are involved in the project have been contacted. Sometimes multiple individuals from agencies, if that makes sense. So we're just trying to organize and coordinate this effort. Again, make sure we're not duplicating efforts that everyone can benefit from. Yeah, are there any other questions or comments? These are good. Nope. Good. Okay, we're gonna move on to fundraising. You got some grant and a ready update, right? Right, how, Nate?
Yeah, I can go through real quick the Building Better Neighborhoods grant fund through the Office of Community Engagement. We got that again for this last semester. That's really helpful, because just involving the community, it's nice to have a little bit of funding to support whatever. So So that's worked out great. The ready funding, I'm sure everybody knows 35 million was awarded to the region. It sounds like within the next month they'll be starting to give us some clues about how that money is going to be allocated. There's like a bucket of projects here in Delaware County there's going to be some criteria that they evaluate projects on. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of that is going to be left to East Central Indiana Regional Planning, or the partnership, the group that facilitated the whole submission process, as well as some local voices. I know that Tracy Lutton, Elizabeth Roray are part of that committee. So anyways, that's about as much as I know as far as I'm sure. I think Heather, you have some insight. I don't know if it's for sharing here or it's not 100% clear. I asked this question publicly at the MRC meeting yesterday, and Jeff said basically, yeah, criteria and ECIRP are really important. That's about as much as I got.
Yes, and that there's the Lilly set aside for blight remediation, and that's a separate like 189 million dollars for the state. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, where they put projects in different buckets, because we could apply for the 35 million, but we can also fit within the other blight bucket. So yeah, just continue to have conversations.
Okay.
And you know that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was my understanding that Ready can only pay for up to 20% of a project, right?
It's a 4-to-1 match.
So 25%?
Correct.
I don't know if it's hard and pat. I think maybe it is. I thought it was just kind of like that's the highest standard where it's a 4-to-1 match.
But it doesn't have to be for your particular project. It's a match across all of the projects that are submitted. So like the Ball State Village project has a huge match. So that gigantic match can match other projects that don't have a match, if that makes sense.
Right. No, it's probably just trickles down the whole schedule, right? Like all the
Correct.
projects are going to have a sections of different fundings and potentially a gap is where I think I'm going here. And if we could get our projects that we're involved in to tighten that gap now while they're making these decisions and thinking about it, we make a better financial argument for our project to move forward, right? Like if we've got that, if we don't have a gap, I mean, best case scenario, our gap's 0, we're like ready to go if you give us ready money or whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that if we could start working on our end for that, it would make it a better ask, a better give.
Yes, we would be much more attractive if we had
Yes.
some of our funding matched.
And
Yes, that's a better word for it, attractive. Yes, very much so.
and we, and you can look in box if you just type in Ready 2.0. You can see the proposal that we submitted, and we tried to show a pretty good match. We had 5 or 6 organizations that wrote support letters, and then everyone kind of tried to show how they could match. And I think also now having property that we can, we had talked about having a resolution in the works to acquire property, but now we can actually say this is a huge contribution from the county that has
Right.
value.
Yes,
So the-
100%.
So the match can be federal, doesn't have to be private, right?
I think anything. I think
Yeah, they'll even take like in-kind. So in-kind match works as well.
Yeah.
So we need
That's
to think
what mine
about all of that
says.
too. Like Nate, your time is a match.
Yeah.
Jason's time is a match.
Yeah, I don't know if it's helpful to like go back into the proposal and try. I mean, even though we submitted something, ours was probably much more than just the abstract that they asked for. I mean, we included, but it might be helpful to go back in and try to tighten things up so that if somebody says, "Hey, send us a more detailed proposal," we have something closer.
I would 100% suggest continuing to work on it and then having conversations with Tracy, Elizabeth, and Trevor.
Okay. And just
Thank
to
you.
add on to this conversation, it's not 100% clear how that Lilly money is accessed or.
They don't know either.
Okay, but we're working on a new proposal, and like the one that and this is from talking with Trevor, the idea of trying to build out our partnership with Pastone and the HEART program and salvaging houses through a rehab program is one that we're
Great
going to
idea.
try to get have a new abstract or have something to present in the next couple weeks. The timeline in my head is before April 30th, have that new abstract written.
Yeah, I think that there's probably opportunity for several projects. But again, make sure that you're having these conversations with the people that will be feeding it up to the state as you're doing it. So you're not wasting your time too.
Yeah. And just since we're on the same point, yesterday we had a walkthrough with the Ball Brothers Foundation. They had contacted me and asked if they could come see our site in the Old West End. And so Heather, Rebecca, Jason, Jeb, and I walked the neighborhood with Ball Brothers folks. And it was a good first experience of walking through and kind of narrating the property, kind of like a rough vision of how it's going to look. And I think they were really, really encouraged. And I think there's an opportunity there maybe to ask for some new monies that are a little bit more strategic in how we couple it with ready funding or some other the same project, but a little bit more strategic. This one was just straightforward. Let's just buy property. We did that. Now I think there was some discussion about maybe kind of like a revolving loan fund to cover as costs fluctuate related to construction and things like that.
Sounds great. That sounds fantastic. And it sounds like an impetus to further go back and tighten up those ready numbers and project numbers.
Yeah.
I agree. And maybe we can work out a partnership with someone to create a skeleton framework for some type of revolving loan fund. How hard can the system be?
Yeah, that was something that Jeb mentioned yesterday. So I was kind of, if we start digging that, I'll definitely be.
A CDFI like Intend might be incredibly helpful in a situation like that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any questions for the update on, fundraising development, including all those, the Lilly, the
One thing just
all right, cool,
related to
cool.
fundraising is yesterday, and it's still unclear exactly what all this means. And but yesterday at the MRC meeting, the director Jeff Howe mentioned that he asked the MRC to make a motion to approve upon legal compliance $30,000 payment to the land bank, which comes from this new development fund tied to the TWG development.
The new 120 unit apartment LIHTC out on Kilgore. It'll go next to Silver Birch, where the end zone used to be.
Yeah.
Would this just be a single point in time payment? It wouldn't be broken into different payments, like throughout the year, or be multi-year? It would just be one lump sum.
As I understood, and Brad, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the meeting, but it sounded like it was a multi-year thing that would actually increase by a certain percentage year to year.
It was unclear. The agreement, I wasn't sure if multi-year, but it seems like the payment in lieu of taxes that they've set up for the development is multi-year and will grow by 3%, I believe is what he said. So I'm not sure if he meant I thought he meant the fund and not the contract, I guess, in that, or the agreement in that sense. When I
Okay.
watched it.
I'm gonna leave it then as just that it's unclear what that's
Fair.
gonna look like in the future.
Very fair. Are there any other questions about it? Or about any of the fundraising? Sorry.
Well, I mean, it seems like we approached the city for a certain amount. And this is different than what we were looking for. Just wanted to sort of note that.
Yeah, this was, we had kind of done behind the scenes kind of discussion with some of the decision makers and had offered a much higher number of support. And then this was proposed at the MRC meeting. A little bit kind of took me by surprise because I was assuming that it would be something we'd converse about prior to going public, but it gives us something to work with. But yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, but yeah.
The legal compliance is with affordable housing. Because the project itself is an affordable housing project and they've built in IC 5-20-15.5 as pilot, the usage of pilot funds for affordable housing projects through this program.
But yeah, we're gonna figure it out and maybe might make a proposal in addition to this. Thankful for this, but need a little bit more.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what that relationship's going to look like, but at least it's something for now. As long as it gets past that legal hurdle, right? Is there any other questions or comments or concerns?
guess-
Unfortunately,
One more question. We've talked in the past about trying to, I guess, have better communication with the city council. I'm not sure if we ever scheduled a meeting to discuss with them the work that the land bank does and the value to the city.
that's
So
on the
Nate and
agenda.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Brad.
Oh, that is later on this agenda for an update, John. You all will get to it because I have to go for a meeting. I apologize, but everyone have a good weekend and thank you for all your work.
Thanks, Brad.
Bye, Brad. Thank
We're on public outreach, point number 8. That's pretty self-explanatory. We shared at the housing summit. We were part of a panel. We presented a week or so ago at the Prosperity Indiana Summit with Intend. That went pretty well. And then we Aram is at Civics Day with a little setup for the Muncie Land Bank. Sure, I can just go ahead and move on to point 9. So Governance and Governmental Relations Committee. We have been having conversations with the county of, how can we create a more systematic relationship with regards to the disposition of property, tax liquid property. They're open to that conversation, and it's also tied to can the land bank serve all of Delaware County? And there's different scenarios. And I've had communication with some of the commissioners and some other key folks in the county, and basically they said we're up for this, but they want to wait till mid-May. So we've got some time to kind of figure out what we're presenting, how we're presenting it. But I have to say, like I feel like the county, things could change politically, and always have to be ready to. But The county has been kind of really warm to us in the last couple months. And so it's an opportunity in all kinds of ways, property, potential funding, and just like political support. So, but that's on the radar. So we'll come back to that, but just wanted you to know that I've been really encouraged. And then Heather, do you want to quickly update on the city council?
Sure. So we have been working, Nate and I have been working really hard to get something nailed down with City Council. At this moment, we have a meeting scheduled on April 30th from 5:30 to 7 at Mad Jack's. We're going to sit down with 3 of the council members, but we're going to send the invitation to everyone. We know that at this point there are 3 that have said that they can attend, but everyone's going to be invited. And we'll do an introduction, a brief introduction to the Muncie Action Plan, and so that I can lead them into the Healthy Block Partnership and the way that the Muncie Land Bank is elevated in our community plan, and then turn it over to Nate to talk about the actual work. So that's our plan at this moment. We'll let you know how it goes.
So
and everyone's invited to come if you want to attend.
Yeah, we just got that in the calendar, Pat, yesterday. So I'll probably follow up with an email to different folks and see, hey, can you help me plan this and present? Communicate.
So for sure, I'll be there and Nate will be there, and then whomever you get to help present with the land bank.
I'd like to be there.
We'll send out, so my plan at this point, I have to lead a leadership retreat this weekend, is during that retreat, I'm going to create the actual physical invitation to send out to City Council, and then I will add it to everyone's calendar via Outlook, and then you'll have it there and you can attend or not attend, depending on your schedule.
So who's going to be facilitating the meeting?
I will start, if you don't mind, Nate. I mean, I'll kick it off with the overview of our strategic investment plan for the city, and then turn it over to Nate for the land bank. And then Nate, you can determine, like, if you and John want to co-present.
Yeah,
I'll leave that up to you guys.
okay. Yeah, I'd be happy to have a number of voices rather than just mine. So that's helpful to know, John, that you're interested in. I'm sure that Brad might be wanting to, as chair and others. So, so really the last thing, just it's in our data committee category, is we continue to work with the students in the second year planning, urban planning folks, and they've been out in industry in Whiteley, and then they're back in industry right now, doing a more comprehensive survey that's going to be something that Urban Light and Habitat uses for their acquisition strategy related to housing development. The students are going to be presenting their results from this last phase, so the more comprehensive study from industry, at Mad Jack's at 1 p.m. Next Friday, the 26th. I'll send out an invitation. We'll probably have a little food, but everybody's welcome to come to that. We're hoping that that neighborhood folks can come, as well as interested folks.
Sorry, Nate, I had a telephone call to come in. I had to respond to real fast. Were you saying this is the class that's working in Whiteley and industry?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And they're presenting on April 26th, I think, is next Friday at 1 p.m. at Mad Jack's, their final results. So that's all that's on the agenda. Does anybody have any comments or
Nate, you kind of just glazed over your presentation at the Prosperity Indiana conference, and I think John was in that session. You did a really good job, and so and I
Thank you.
think it was great exposure for the Muncie Land Bank. So I just wanted to not let you undercredit yourself for that.
Thank you, Annette. Appreciate it.
And I know she's not on here at the moment, but Rebecca Hanna was also on the tour yesterday, and Nate was amazing. But I had forgotten how closely tied Rebecca is to the neighborhood. She knew who lived in every house. She knew, like, she could just her frame of reference for the Ball Brothers Foundation attendees was just amazing, and it really put into perspective the impact that our work is going to have on that neighborhood. So, like, I immediately sent her a text message and I was like, you are a rock star. Like, she
Yeah.
did an amazing job, and I'm super thankful that she is such a great advocate for our organization. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that too. And Jason Haney had just beautiful things to say about the land bank too. Like, he literally said that we are the most important nonprofit in the city of Muncie today. And that also, like, meant a lot. So thank you, Jason, if you're out there listening.
Yeah, we're in addition to all you guys on the board, we have a lot of support from folks, which is making a difference.
Well, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Cool. I think that's it. We don't even need to vote on that. So
Thank you, everyone.
thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Have a good weekend.
Yep, y'all.